Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. Alright y'all, Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 15, Past Lives, Open Minds. If you're brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns of various TV shows, both scripted and reality, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every episode. Or recap. So if you enjoy that type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel, thumbsing up this particular video if you enjoy this particular piece of content, and then hop in the comment section, y'all. Let's try to find something to talk about in this boring episode. I hate the episodes where they read the letter to the former self. I hate the episodes where they go back to their hometown, nothing good ever happens. So let's do Steve and Noi, okay? So we're in Steve's hometown, and Steve is showing her his house. How he said one of the unique things about his particular house was they had a driveway both in the front and in the back. He's showing her that in their basement they had some epic parties. Steve looked like he put on a good party. Steve looked like he throws a bomb party. I'll tell y'all that. So he's kind of talking about that, and Noi, could just be me, but Noi kind of looked like she didn't want to touch nothing in his house. So Steve is showing her his bedroom where he said he lived with his two other brothers, because he had one sister. She got her own room, but they had bunk beds and another bed, and she was ended up in that room like, you live down here together, and it's like, Noi, don't do that, girl. I'm not going to be rude about your upbringing, but let's not judge. So Steve then has like a stuffed animal. And he was like, oh yeah, this is old boy from back in the day. And she was like, it's odd to have a stuffed animal for that long. I'm trying not to be disrespectful. I have a stuffed animal. I am 37 years old. I have a stuffed animal that I've had since I was like 2. So my teddy bear is 35 years old. How is it bothering anybody? Like, who doesn't have things from their childhood? I have so much stuff from my childhood. So it's kind of weird that she even said that. But Noi was definitely judging him. Noi was judging him. I don't know if it was judgment or maybe it was jealousy. I don't know. So Steve then pulls out, they're looking at different photo albums, and he got most likely to dance or best dancer or something like that. And she was asking him, was he popular? I said, look at Steve, of course he was popular. Steve is emotionally mature. He's emotionally intelligent. Of course he has a lot of friends. And then he plays the song that him and his friends made. He said they used to pass out mixtapes and do that kind of stuff with. And his mama was singing, okay? Talk about your number one fan. His mama was in the background every day. Every day. Every day. I said, okay, mama, what's your solo? The song did not sound good to me, at least. But, kudos to Steve. So for Noi, because Noi is not from Boston, so for Noi's down home visit, she takes Steve to a dance class. And I said, look at Steve being good at everything but working. Steve was hitting the mess out of that 8 count, okay? Noi said that she likes dancing since it's a form of self-expression, and she was not allowed to express herself as a child. She said in her family, the kids weren't allowed to express anything. Like, they weren't allowed to tell their parents how they felt about something. They came just from a very, very traditional background where kids are to be seen and not heard. So she said that's kind of why she shuts down in arguments, because as a child, she was never able to express herself then. And she said that a lot of the fights that she has with Steve about social media are because she is holding on to her independence and her self-expression. And Steve wants her to understand that I'm not trying to take your self-expression away from you, but you need to also take into account my feelings and my concerns about these things and show me some respect. And I'm calling bullshit, Noi. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but your parents not letting you dance as a child, your parents not letting you tell them that you're upset about something. What does bullshit? Bullshit. I'm not gonna argue in the comments about it. This is my opinion. My opinion. Do not tell me I'm wrong in the comments. It's an opinion, but I'm calling bullshit on that because I think far too often people use their past as a crutch, right? So there were certain things in my family that we weren't allowed to do as children either. That has not stunted my growth as an adult. It hasn't. So the fact that Noi is really gonna say the fact that she was raised a certain way is why she wants her damn Instagram account to talk shit about her marriage? Girl, gone. Noi has disappointed me this season. I tell you that. Noi has disappointed me. So then she reads her letter to her former self, and what I took from it mainly is how she felt like she was a burden as a kid. So because her parents struggled and worked themselves to the bone, she felt that I'm more of a bill and a burden than being a joy to my parents, because if they didn't have us, maybe they wouldn't have to work so hard. Maybe they would have a better life. And I feel like that's kind of sad. You never want a child to feel like a burden to their parents or to their guardian or caretaker, whoever's taking care of them. So I feel bad for her in that, but I also feel like if that's something that you are still harvesting and harboring and something you're still going through, then you need to go get some therapy. I feel like therapy should be mandatory on this show, because almost every single person on this show this season has had some deep traumas that they are ignoring by jumping into a marriage. So Dr. Pepper comes over, and Dr. Pepper feels that she has made progress, okay, on opening up and not shutting down. She said because she didn't grow up expressing herself, it's hard for her to do that now. So she said that for a while she was scared to tell Steve that she was upset. You weren't scared to get your ass up and walk away though. See, I'm not buying that, because I feel like Noi's actions are not matching what she is saying. Noi is doing everything she can to make excuses for her childish, immature behavior. If you are emotionally stunted, let us know and let Steve know so that Steve can go find him somebody that is as emotionally mature and intelligent as he is. So Steve wants to know, or or a concern of his is if she's just going to shut all the way down and just leave. And then Noi once again talks about how, well, growing up, and it's like, girl, stop it. Stop it. Stop it, because you growing up the way that you did has nothing to do with you getting on social media and posting subs, posting memes and gifs and all this other stuff that people are going to take about your marriage. So I don't like, to me the two don't make sense, but whatever. So Steve said he does now understand why she doesn't want to give up her place. It's the first thing that she has ever had, and it's tangible. And I kind of feel like, Noi, like, if you're not ready to become a married couple, if you're not ready to intertwine your lives and take that next step and get rid of your single life, which means getting rid of your apartment or your studio and changing your behavior and your actions for a number of things, then you shouldn't have signed up for this show. Because I guarantee you, if Steve was getting up and going to work every single day like she is, and able to show her a tangible paycheck, Noi would not be reacting the way that she is. She wouldn't. She wouldn't. What happened to you loving Steve and all this other stuff? Now you don't want to live with him? So then Dr. Pepper talks about how she doesn't live with her husband. And I said, Dr. Pepper, you are not helping. But Dr. Pepper also points out that this is her second marriage. Her first marriage, she did live with her husband because they were raising kids. Steve is also concerned about how are we going to raise children if we are not living in the same household, which also brings me to wondering, Noi, if you don't want to live with him, why do you care how what money he's bringing in? because y'all are going to be paying two mortgages. Y'all are going to be paying 2 rents. Y'all are going to be paying 2 electric bills, 2 cable bills. Like, you're trying to double your bills. So if you, like, this is not making sense. This is not making sense. If you are not ready to leave your single life behind and move in with your husband and live as a typical married couple so that y'all can raise kids together, the kids that you want to have next year, how is this supposed to work? This does not make sense. This does not make sense. So Dr. Pepper even asked them, how is this going to look? How is this going to work? And they need to make sure that they are taking care of each other's emotional needs and not just their own. And that was directed towards you, Noi. This is not all just about you, sweetheart. This is about you and Steve. Now, Steve, Noi clearly still is not comfortable with the fact that you have not given her a very clear path on how you make money. Steve is not a trust fund baby. Steve is not a millionaire. Steve is, like somebody said, Steve has a malpractice lawsuit. Y'all are making up anything to cover up the fact that this man don't work. No one is saying Steve was broke, but Steve is not a multimillionaire either. I just kind of feel like Steve just needs to tell her how he brings in money, and I feel like maybe Noi would be more comfortable with that. But I also feel like Steve wants to make sure she says yes through decision day, so he's throwing out little crumbs to her, little crumbs, just to keep her, attached as long as he can until then. But I also feel like you have to be open with each other. Why wasn't there a finances episode? We had episodes on everything else this season. Where was the finance episode where Steve has to sit down and outline his finances to her? Because maybe then Noi shut the hell up about these social media posts. But they have too many fires that they got to put out. So we will see what happens with the two of them. Let me know how you guys felt about this episode in the comments down below. And check out the other 3 videos from tonight's episode. Catch y'all in the next one.